welcome back to WCS America Premier League round of 16 as we are getting ready for our final series of the day. Nate, it's been a very fun day, just like yesterday, but this is not the final match that I expected. And of course, I love Alicia, and I know that he's very good. And I did think he had a very realistic shot at making it out of this group. I didn't expect him to win it, though.
No. Honestly, I've always been a big HyuN fan. I won't lie, I'm a huge HyuN fanboy. But man, Alicia played so well in that series. And, you know, HyuN tried some crazy stuff that just didn't necessarily pan out too well for him. And this Zerg versus Zerg that he has to play, this rematch of our first series of the day, really could swing either way.
Yeah, it really could. Yes, we did see a 2-0 in HyuN's favor earlier today, but I think we went over that series plenty. And I still think it was a very close series, despite the fact that it was a 2-0. That can be very deceiving, as both games, you know, they had their tipping point moments. Either it goes HyuN's way or it goes Revival's way. And I think it's safe to say that in the first game, back then on Overgrowth, Revival was actually in a pretty damn good position as well. You know, if you have 31 roaches against 14, I think it's safe to say majority of the time you will win.
Yeah, well, I mean, having more roaches is usually a pretty good thing. So we're in the map veto process now.
Talking about that, how is that roach count coming along, Nate?
I think this match could determine who's built the most roaches. The thing is, HyuN did not build a lot of roaches in that ZVP at all. No, he went for a lot of Zerglings and Mutalisks.
Yeah, he tried, but he wasn't really able to get a whole lot done. Either way, as you guys can see, we're already in the map veto process. Once more, we are getting rid of Alt Azim and Waystation. You know, I really feel it's up to the point where we should just put like Christmas presents all around the map on Alt Azim and Waystation, so we might see it a little more.
Yeah, get those like those campaign, like the random mineral patches. Yeah, put them on the island too.
And not just that, but just like random like little gift boxes that if you run into it, you get a unit. It's like pop, you get an Ultra, or pop, you get a Zerg.
Hey, I got the 4-minute randomly generated Ultralisk.
You know, in Warcraft 3 we had a map like that where it was a very popular map, and later on they did change it because it was so imba. But you could just like creep any camp, and then the items would be random.
I wonder how it might be seen as imbalance.
and you could get like golems at the 4-minute mark, and they were pretty good and stuff.
Yeah. Imagine
fire dragons.
Imagine if I could get a marine at the 4-minute mark. Oh man.
Oh wait.
Marine drops.
Oh wait.
So these vetoes, I think we could say these look pretty standard, right? We end up with Overgrowth, Frost, King, Sage, and Station, 3 core maps that have had a large showing in WCS, pretty much all across every region, basically.
Yeah. These are just the universally agreed upon best maps at the moment, and that's why we see it most of the time. In the mirror matchups, every now and then you will see a Waystation. Alt Azim, you only see if like two players call each other's bluffers in like, I think you're going to veto it. No, I think you're going to veto it. And suddenly like, man, I really want to get rid of Overgrowth or something. So now I'm just going to have to play Alt Azim. Either way, it's going to be King, Sejong, Frost, and then last but not least, there will be Overgrowth. The map we saw earlier today as well, which was the map where Revival had a very realistic opportunity of winning that game.
Yeah. I think this is a great series. I love watching these two play because they're so good, but they're also, you know, they can play so aggressively. And we saw in their first series some really aggressive play come out of HyuN right out of the gates. And I believe it was that Overgrowth map that we saw, just the absolute madness with lots of speedlings. So this is an opportunity to either change things up. We still haven't seen out of either of these guys like any really fast pool play either.
No, not in this matchup. We saw Nesty do it, but they did not do it. Either way, we're going to go over to Clutch and HyuN one more time at the social media desk just to see if the people out there in the social media universe know how many roaches have been produced.
Thank you, gentlemen. A lot of roaches have been produced. Still waiting on Nathanias to crunch those numbers. We'll get back to you after the broadcast later tonight or tomorrow. HyuN, we've had a lot of really good StarCraft today. A big surprise with Alicia, a huge revenge match, one of the best stories so far coming in the round of 16. But now we have Revival versus HyuN. A lot of people have been asking a lot of different questions and rooting for a lot of their favorite players here for today's matches. And make sure you guys send your tweets, hashtag WCS. And the question today, as I mentioned before, who is going to produce the most amount of roaches? I want to get your guess who has produced the most so far.
The winner, maybe?
The winner? Whoever stands the longest, yeah, in the group, probably.
The maps here, it's very interesting. The first time that they played on Overgrowth first, and then on Habitation, on which Revival has really been struggling. I mean, the first time I thought he was getting caught by surprise by HyuN, but I don't think he was, after all. I feel like HyuN, he's found the exact counter that he needs to use to basically beat Revival on the Habitation. Nesty tried it, and then Revival adjusted pretty well and then won that game on Habitation against Nesty. That was trying. Decided to mix it up, and he vetoed Habitation Station. So we're going to see completely different map. It's going to be King Sejong Station, Frost, then Overgrowth. And you have this one theory again.
I do. Well, last time it came true, right? Alicia in Game 2, Overgrowth won, and I predicted that whoever won on Overgrowth would win the series. Well, Overgrowth's the third map, so my prediction pretty much is just doesn't really matter. It's whoever wins Overgrowth's going to win the series. But you find out kind of if they lost the map before, and if they're able to win in that series again, they made some sort of adjustment. They fixed whatever was wrong, especially in these Zerg versus Zerg matches, to see that player bounce back from the mistakes that they made. But every player is different, and that is what is exciting to see with all these Zerg players.
Didn't you have a theory as well from like a returning player? No?
If the player returns,
then he
based
wins.
on the calculations, I have to put those calculations together as well. We only have one calculator, and Athenius is using it right now, so I got to wait till he's done. But I think Sejong Station is going to be the catalyst. Whoever's going to take this map will take this series. That is my prediction. A lot of people can send in their predictions on Twitter, but also you can make your own fantasy teams to predict who's going to make it to the round of 8. Make sure to check that out. That's fantasy.eslgaming.com/StarCraft2. Pick 2 players from each region. Predict who's going to make it to the playoffs. This is based on real performance. Compete in global ranking. Compete with your friends. And if you are a little bit late with creating your team this season, it's going to be around for next season as well. And Todd, I will solemnly make this promise in front of all these people, in front of you. I will put you on my team for Europe once again.
I really need to step it up.
You need to step it up, man. You got to practice this weekend. I'm counting on you, Todd.
I will.
All right. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a lot of fun today, but one more match remains. One player advances to the round of 8, and one player goes home. Back to the desk.
Fun it has been and fun it will be seeing these two Zerg players going up against each other once more. Is it going to be Revival? Is it going to be HyuN? Either way, Nate, it's an upset to see either of them fall. Of course, this group together with an excellent playing Alicia. However, you know, it's still the reigning champ, you know, like HyuN is the reigning champ. No matter how you look at it, he is the current reigning champion of WCS America. So would you say he is still the favorite?
It's really hard because, I mean, they both finished top 4 last season, and I think I still going to go with HyuN because it's my gut call. But, yeah, I like HyuN a lot. Revival, though, I would not be surprised at all if he was able to take this match.
Do you think he's shaking up a little bit after that last series? Because, you know, in general, HyuN does pretty okay against Protoss. Of course, you know, every Zerg will drop a series once in a while. But I felt that last series he was never really able to show what he's made of. And you could say, you know, he kind of created that unusual environment in game number 1. But in game 2 on merry-go-round, you expect him to do a little better against builds like that the majority of the time. You think he's feeling it?
I don't think that should upset him too much. HyuN's ZVZ has been pretty solid throughout. And I think since he knows he's already beaten Revival in this group, you know, he's definitely got, I guess at least in this matchup, a bit of momentum, maybe some potential mind game edge. However, how many times already have we seen someone win against a player in the first match and then lose in the rematch at the final?
It happens very often, but it doesn't happen very often when that losing player or the winning player in that case is a Korean. Most of the time it's like, you know, the foreigner is like, yeah, he's got to do it. And then like, oh, well, he came so close. Either way, it's going to be a great ZVZ series, the final one of the day. And of course, over here in the left top side of this map, spawning as the Red Zerg, representing Rocket, it is HyuN. You guys can, of course, follow him as well at @RocketHyuN via Twitter universe if you want to send him some tweets at @RocketHyuN. All one word. No capitals, no spaces, no dots, no slashes.
No space. His opponent in the bottom right position, the blue Zerg player representing Cooler Master Storm. It is Revival. And you can follow him at CM Storm Revival.
That is correct, and you guys should. Because they tweet a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, HyuN especially.
HyuN is
he's just a really funny guy. And you know what else I gotta give a shout out. You know, I think today our camera movement, our observer has been flowing pretty darn well.
Wow, that was bad. That was really bad.
Team Bad Puns.
That was bad. But of course, big shout out to our dedicated observer, Flow, Yao Flow. That's like the majority of that sentence is flow. It seems a little selfish to me. It's like, come on, we all like to hear our name, but you know, 3 out of 4 words include the first name. I don't know how I feel about that.
You know, you don't like when the ID has a large part of the first name in it.
I'm kidding, of course. And then you guys, you know, last but not least, before we're gonna cast this ZVC, you guys should show also a little bit of love to Nate, because Nate has been so incredibly close to passing the magical barrier on the Twitter universe. Twitter.com/NathaniasTV, is that correct, Nate?
Yeah.
You guys give him the follow. He needs like
That's
six.
shameless.
He needs 6 of you, and then he's a very happy guy. He'll be smiling all night, playing Hearthstone on the way home.
This guy's tweet, he caught it. Well met.
Alrighty, let's focus on the game, Nate, over here. As we see the extractor going down in the main base of HyuN. So he's going to open up with speed once more. Revival still aiming to go for that gasless play. Now, I like it a little bit more on this map than I liked it on Habitation.
Yeah.
Because this is such a large map that even when you have speed, it's hard to really make it worth it. And above all, yes, HyuN will probably go up to 3 out 3s a little quicker than Revival. But you know, there's no gold base over here.
Yeah, there's a very important distinction that you've just made. And the thing is, Habitation Station is a very easy map to defend your natural on. On this map, you have a pretty big ramp. That upper area isn't too close to your hatchery, so if your queens get caught or ran past in that position, then suddenly Zerglings manage to sprint into the main base. So it's a situation where HyuN can't just say, oh, well, now I've got map control and I can take the gold base. He has to make something happen with this speed almost.
He's keeping 2 drones as well on his extractor, and that kind of gives me the idea that he wants to drop a Baneling nest in the near future, and we might see him actually be aggressive. Okay, never mind. He pulled one of the drones away. Now this is already a little more makes a little more sense. I would have been very surprised to see him just go for Link Bane in such an important game as this one.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's almost like, man, this is a really important match to put such a crazy risk on, but sometimes that's the best time to do it. Your opponent might not expect it as much, but I think Revival, when we look at this setup, looks like a standard Roach Warren with the lair, with an evolution chamber setup. And it's not really that crazy. A Zergling speed with how far away the third base is from the natural on this map, HyuN should be able to deny a third base if he really wants to, but he's pocketing these links for now, and he's got a lot more coming in, Roddy.
He's making a lot more. 24 Zerglings on the production tab, so HyuN is definitely looking to be aggressive. Both extractors for Revival went down at a 5-minute mark, like 5 minutes sharp, and I feel that's a little quicker than we normally see Zerg players take them. Often you see them go down at 5:30, unless I'm completely mistaken, but I'm pretty damn sure that normally they're a little bit later for Revival. And we already see his little wall going down. This is an okay map to wall off, even though the ramp is huge, but you can really use that extractor as part of your wall. These links making their way across the map. Revival is aware of it. I wouldn't mind to see a spine crawler go down at all. Playing this without a spine, I feel is a little risky, Nate.
See, this is the thing. You have such a wide area to defend, and these Zerglings are on top.
Oh man, this is bad.
Oh,
if the Roach one dies. Oh my god, if the Roach one dies as well, that would be so. That was an evolution chamber, but still, a lot of Zerglings are going to stream in immediately.
This queen is tucked in so nicely next to this Roach Warren. Not really attackable, but the drones are being picked off. HyuN could run by into the main base once these drones are dead. The queens have managed to secure the
It's going to get surrounded now, though. The second queen will get surrounded, and these Zerglings are already worth their weight in gold. And even though they don't weigh very much, you know, gold is pretty expensive after all. 19 drones have gone down already. A few more will fall in the main base. HyuN with an excellent read, excellent opening, and really taking advantage of the predictability of Revival.
You know, we talk a lot about how, and I think most times you watch a professional StarCraft game, you know, us commentators always say, yeah, with Zergling speed, you can take advantage of how late their wall is, but this is HyuN really showing why on a map like this, when you play gasless, you open yourself up to a huge amount of pressure, and even if you can set up a wall, the surface area that's available is so great, there's almost no way to not take damage.
Yeah, it would have been really nice if he just had one spine to get a little bit more DPS out there. I think he would have been able to keep a few more drones alive. Either way, when it's all settled, we see 32 drones on the side of HyuN, only 24 for Revival. Took a lot of damage. More Zerglings will stream in. This is an absolute disaster for Revival. You know, this is almost game-ending damage, Nate.
Yeah, this just about is. He's bringing his roaches back. He can't even put any counter pressure on these Zerglings. Again, I mean, the drones are kind of like trying to tuck themselves in here, but there's so few of them still. It's a huge problem. Now these Zerglings run to the main base. This queen gets almost surrounded. He's just going to focus down drones.
Fantastic play so far by HyuN. Already up to 70 supply against only the 45 from Revival. 27 drones have gone down in a barely 9-minute game. That is fantastic for HyuN, and that is horrendous for Revival.
Yeah, HyuN is in a fantastic position now. He's got roaches. He's still making Zerglings, and, you know, Revival has a reasonable amount of roaches on the map, but you give this game another minute or two, suddenly there's just a huge advantage for HyuN. He can get his third base saturated safely. He has the Zergling Storm ability, and Revival's got like this like roach wall off. That's a beautiful zoom in flow. Thank you very much. Get a nice look at the roach wall. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Maybe
I mean,
for now.
it will be enough for now, but it doesn't mean that he's in good position. Revival's down 20 workers, so even if he wins this fight, he is still in a bad position, because it's not like he's going to be able to run across the map and counterattack. He doesn't even have roach speed yet. It is just roaches and slow roaches for now. That's why I think he's not even firing up later. I think he's going to try to counterattack on tier 1, hoping that HyuN slightly overdoes it with the economy, because we can see, you know, more roaches on production depth for Revival, and I think he's going to complement these roaches with speedling soon and just go for one all-out attack. And I think that's, you know, that's his best choice. Do I think it's gonna work? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, this is gonna just. See, the thing is, even though Revival can build these units, there's the fact that this layer is done now. So roach speed is gonna come in. Getting an army position on your opponent is so much easier. This is Revival's only chance at this game, and I'm not gonna say he has no chance, but it's not going to be easy, because if he does not kill HyuN and decidedly overpower this army and kill all of his drones, he's pretty much done. He has no tech whatsoever behind this attack.
No, the roach count is going to be higher for HyuN. We see 11 more roaches on the production tab. He's down in roaches for now, but in a few seconds he will be taking a nice roach lead. Even +1 being halfway done. The Zerglings from Revival are going to be annoying, but even if Revival kills that third base from HyuN, he is still behind because his worker count is so extremely low. So he has to go for the natural, and this is almost impossible for our CM Storm Zerg.
Yeah, he's moving up that ramp. The Queens are here too, which means that extra transfuse or so. He's got a little bit more range to fight from the back with, and HyuN is just overtaking Revival in supply. The reinforcements from the Rocket Zerg player are just a little bit too much. Roach speed's going to complete soon, which means Revival's retreat path is going to be cut off. And as more Zerglings continue to stream across the map, Revival's doing his best, but that supply, it's not going up.
No, and every second is, of course, a second in favor of HyuN, as his economy is so much better. HyuN getting a little over-eager here. He's fighting outside of his natural, but it doesn't even matter, as GG is called, and HyuN takes a pretty quick Game 1 victory. Once more taking advantage of that gasless opening from Revival. And Revival's really going to have to ask himself, it's like, man, should I keep doing this? HyuN seems pretty good against his style.
Yeah, HyuN has made the Zergling play work. Not only when he did this build, this very same build, in the first game of today's group, where he was able to dial it back just in time to maintain a lead, but now showing that, yeah, if you leave yourself too far open, I will commit, I will crush you, and that was just a really great way to also use it on the map, because Habitation Station, you know, or those other maps, the choke point is so much smaller that, yeah, it is difficult to get away with it, but on King Staging Station, it's pretty damn good.
Deja vu of WCS America Season 2 last year. After Revival did great in Season 1, he struggled in Season 2, and that seems to be the same time this time. He made it to the round 16 back then as well, but this is going to be his final stop. Will he once more not be able to get that comfortable position within that top 16 WCS ranking? For HyuN, of course, it would be fantastic news to get him more WCS points, as he's currently the second highest ranked player in the world.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, HyuN's just trying to pad the scoreboard. But Revival, our blue Zerg player in the bottom left from Cooler Master Storm, really does need those points. And of course, he is Revival. He needs to win 2 maps to make it to the top 8. And his opponent in the top right, playing for Team Rocket, it is HyuN.
Love how he has a little bit of orange in his headset. Makes me happy, Nate.
I guess it's okay.
Hey, it's my national color, Nate. It's not just okay, it is fantastic.
It's great.
That's right. We'll see what we will see on Frost. This is one map as well where gasless openings in general are pretty popular, and it really seems to be a Revival's go-to opening, but just hasn't been working out for him. What will HyuN do? Maybe HyuN actually does it, you know, maybe he takes advantage of definitely getting a mental advantage so far in this series, and actually does the same thing as Revival, but just does it a little bit more greedy even.
Yeah, I think on this map, when you have a cross spawn setup like this, first of all, the Overlords are not going to be able to check gas. By the time an Overlord gets to one of the other players' bases, you will have a queen out, unless you go absolutely nuts, double hatch before pull. Even then, I still think it might be possible. So knowing whether there's gas, very tricky. It could cause both players to go gasless, since this is a map where it's easy to defend this choke point. And in that case, we just see both players power up to roaches very quickly. So,
and you can already see HyuN squeezing out a few more drones, but he's going to get this extractor once more, though. I mean, I guess never change the winning team. As Revival did not drop an extractor just yet. HyuN did open this very economically, though. Hedge first made 2-3 more drones, then got the extractor, and only then got the spawning pool. Is not really worried at all about Revival doing something crazy. Like, if this would have been a 10-pool Bane play from Revival, well, this cross mob after all, but if it would have been, it could have been kind of hard to defend with the way that HyuN has opened.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a huge deal. HyuN has been preferring this gas stylistically for map control, but also that aggressive potential. On this map, though, now that both players know where each other have spawned, now that they know it's cross spawns, you say, well, do I really want to get aggressive if the natural choke point is so small that 2 evolution chambers and a queen are going to basically nullify any aggression? I don't know.
But I mean, even if he just shows the fuel speed links, probably Revival is going to be freaked out a little bit already and wants to make sure that he didn't miss anything. Frost it's a little harder to see everything. Like on King Young, there's only one exit. And this point, this map with these spawning locations, it's harder to put your overlords in all the correct positions. Because if you look where Revival's overlords are right now, if a bunch of speed links would make their way across the map, and look at the production tab, Nate, it is a spine crawler. So Revival is indeed a little freaked out, and he is indeed a little shaken up because he's playing this way safer than he did before. Well, most likely this time HyuN won't be aggressive at all.
Yeah, the goal here for Revival, since he's made these 4 Zerglings, I'm surprised he's even made up to 4 at this point, but he could just use all his larvae on drones with this wall that he's going to eventually make, because Zergling speed is still a little ways off. It's not be in time that I really feel like Revival needs to worry about it, but he's going to poke the front. And this queen positioning is so nice because HyuN
hides the fact that he took an extractor.
Yeah, it's, you know, in Zerg versus Zerg,
yeah, that's going to be hard, man. Like, as I said,
should be able to cancel this third base with no difficulty at all.
Definitely. It's nothing but slow links on the map right now for Revival. He doesn't even have a whole lot. Roach 1 is only halfway done. This is, you know, Revival is trying to play it a little bit more risky, trying to read into this game. He's hiding the HyuN's hiding the Zerglings as well on the right side of the map. I don't think they have been scouted yet by any of those overlords. HyuN is playing this phenomenal so far. It's really funny because so far almost nothing has died in this game, and I'm really impressed with how HyuN has done this. He's playing this game as well as I could if I would turn Fog of War off.
Yeah, this has been really well played by HyuN. That third base even just gets canceled before the Zerglings arrive. Wants to save the drone, and the drone will escape, but now HyuN has his third, and he can continue to saturate that. And because these lair timings are still really close to each other, like Revival's got a few second lead. The only big advantage that Revival has are his evolution chambers are up so much earlier. But even then, like, HyuN's going to have his +1 attack lined up closely. Only thing he's missing out on is the Carapace upgrade, which at this point, if he has a lot more roaches, won't really be a big deal.
Of course, Revival has done a good job in keeping up on the drone count, but soon HyuN will be able to saturate 3 bases, and that's going to give him that economic lead that you will always get, because it's a lot better to split up 55 workers over 3 bases than it is over 2. Nothing but roaches on the production tab now for HyuN, as he's aware of the fact as well. It's like, hey, my third hatch is up so much quicker. I even have a bunch of drones there already. I am going to be more than fine as long as I don't lose it, so let's just start producing a lot of roaches, because, hey, 3-base Zerg against 2-base Zerg, yeah, please run across the map and attack me. If I defend one time, I win the game.
Yeah, and here's the thing, right? Both players, and this is just really, you know, it's kind of like a cool thing to look at as a StarCraft player at all. Both players are the same number of workers just about, but HyuN has mining as almost a lot more just because he's spread out across 3 bases, and this gives him that nice advantage. He's going to mine out his bases a bit more slowly, and I like, you know, it's always cool to see, because you'd say, hey, does both players having the same workers really give that third base an advantage? And it really does.
Yes, it does, Nate. Yes, it does.
StarCraft is beautiful, Ronnie.
It is. It keeps you through the night, especially, you know, when winter is coming. It's going to be cold.
It will be very cool. Not here, man.
Like you said, Revival has one thing going for himself, and that is that his Carapace upgrade is done so much quicker. It's actually done by the time that HyuN fires up his, but other than that, I really love HyuN's position. He's been getting a lot of small, minor advantages, but eventually all those advantages do turn into one big one, and we're going to see that resemble in the roach count, as it's 23 roaches currently for HyuN against only 14 for Revival. Worker-wise, it is even, but once again, you know, the third hatch is not even up yet for Revival, so far HyuN HyuN has been outmining his opponent, and you can really see how that reflects in the supply count as well. 142 supply against 118. HyuN is actually marching across the map. He has +1 ready. He's going to be in an upgrade deficit, but he has so many more roaches that, you know, this is almost like overgrowth, but then the other way around. This is going to be a tough hold for Revival. Not impossible, but he's going to have to control his roaches real well.
HyuN just gets right on top of him, and the only advantage Revival has, oh, that queen gets picked off, and it had a lot of energy. Focusing on the high energy queens is so smart. The only advantage Revival had, the +1 carapace, but HyuN just has so many more roaches. He doesn't even care. It almost doesn't matter at this point. There's just so much more. HyuN continuing to move up. The spine crawler is not burrowed, and HyuN about to send Revival potentially out of WCS America. He wants to get back to the top 8. He wants to continue his run for a second championship. And damn it, Roddy, he's about to do it.
Hell yeah, the WCS reigning champion is still alive as he's picking up most of these queens, most of these roaches, and his supply count is actually going up despite just rallying units across the map. An excellent, excellent game by HyuN. And I know not a whole lot happened to the visual eye, not a whole lot of units have died early on, but he played this out so incredibly smart. So many small moves, really taking advantage of how the previous games have played out as well. And unfortunately for Revival, it's a deja vu of last year where he had a fantastic run in Season 1, but in Season 2 he was not able to repeat that performance.
Yeah, he's down just under 100 supply. HyuN close to maxing out with no Roach Warren remaining. All Revival can build are just slow Zerglings, and HyuN's in his natural. GG is called. HyuN will advance to the round of 8 here in WCS America Premier League.
Yeah, great games really by HyuN. There's nothing else to it. He's not even, doesn't look super stoked. He's like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm the reigning champ. What else did you expect from me? Of course I'm here to defend my title, Nate. And perhaps he just really likes Southern California and wants to stay around at least until the 5th and 6th of July. Where, of course, if you guys really love HyuN, if you live in the SoCal area and you missed him today, make sure to make it over to the studio in Burbank on the 5th and 6th. You guys can hang out with HyuN as much as you can and perhaps witness him lifting that trophy once more.
Yeah, fantastic play. And of course, you know, these guys are friends. Goes over to say hi. And of course, Revival. I mean, he put his best foot forward. I would have said at the start of today's group, Revival and HyuN would be the plays moving onward, but
that's such a cool shot, man. Like HyuN sitting next to Revival, and Revival's just like, man, I can't catch a break. And HyuN's like, yeah, I know, right? I should take a side job as sidekick. I'm pretty good in reading people's mind.
Yeah, looking at the replay, I'd imagine with his friend saying, hey, it's like, at least show him. He's like, how exactly did you just dominate me so bad?
And what HyuN basically said is like, Revival, you lost against a great player, don't worry. And Revival just looks to the side like, come on, man, like, come on. Either way, well, it was a really fun day of WCS America Premier League Group B. We now know 4 of our players that will make it into the round of 16. But of course, we will not sign out yet. Before we go over all the logistics, we're going to tell you guys what's next, what's happening in all the regions. But not before. Oh, well, there we go. Why not? These are, of course, today's results. As Alicia was able to win the winner bracket, and HyuN was still able to battle his way through the lower bracket. So in the end, you know, a Protoss and a Zerg advance, which is really good for us, Nate, because now we only had 4 Protoss going into the round of 16, but now we have 2 of them still alive. Either way, I can already see on my left that Clutch is ready, and I would love to hear from HyuN how stoked he is that he's able to stay in California a little while longer.
Thank you, gentlemen. HyuN, congratulations. You're now moving on to the round of 8. You've been down this road once before, but how does it feel knowing that you're going once again to the round of 8?
고스켄 선수 이번에 8강 진출하게 되셨는데 저번 시즌 같이 이번에도 또 올라가는 건데 뭐 딱히 뭐 기분이 더 좋거나 하십니까?
이기긴 했는데 이제 제가 아끼는 동생을 제가 2번을 이기고 올라가는 거라서 기분이 또 그렇게 좋지가 않아요. 그래서 남은 경기 이제 동현이 목까지 제가 잘해서 우승을 해보고 또 2연속 우승을 해야 될 것 같아요.
I'm going through a lot of mixed feelings just because I did advance, but that was done by beating one of my closest friends. So going into round of 8s, I'll carry his share and make sure I go back-to-back championship.
You are the defending WCS America champion. Which road has been harder? What has been more difficult to play through? Has it been the series, the road of getting to the round of 8 for this season, or was it last season?
저번 시즌이랑 이번 시즌이랑 비교를 했을 때 어느 이번이 더 어렵다고 혹시 느끼시는지 느끼면 뭐 때문에 조금 뭐 어렵거나 아니면 쉽거나 그렇게 느끼시는지.
일단 느끼는 건 똑같다고 생각을 하고 중요한 건 저희 마음가짐과 이제 컨디션이 가장 중요할 거라고 생각을 하고요. 만약에 컨디션이 좋다면 다시 우승하는 것도 이제 가능할 거라고 생각을 하고 있습니다.
Last season and this season doesn't feel nothing different, and I think it all comes down to how I manage my forms and condition throughout up until round of 8 and next weekend. So if I can do that successfully, I think winning it consecutively is not going to be a challenge.
Final question. What would you like to say to all your fans who have been cheering for you all day long, both here in the studio and to everyone watching around the world?
오늘 일찍부터 와서 이제 응원해준 팬들과 그리고 전 세계에 있는 고스켄 선수 팬들에게 마지막으로 한 말씀 해주십시오.
오늘 좀 1위로 올라갈 거라 생각을 했는데 이제 아쉽게 2등을 해서 올라갔는데 근데 저번 시즌에도 제가 8강으로 올라갈 때도 2등으로 올라가서 우승을 했던 기억이 있어요. 그래서 이제 이번에도 우승을 꼭 할 자신이 있기 때문에 우승으로 보답을 해드리도록 하겠습니다. 많이 응원해 주세요.
Last season, I made it up to the round of 8 through going through the deciding match, and this time I hope that the good jinx continues on and becomes the same path as the last time. And so thank you for all the supporters, all the fans, the ones on site, and please cheer for me.
All right, let's give it up for HyuN as he moves on to the round of 8. Congratulations once again. We'll see you July 5th. Back to the desk.
Thank you very much, Clutch, and of course, congratulations to HyuN for playing an excellent round of 16. I can't wait to see him in action for the round of 8. I saw what happened there. You guys didn't see it. It was a little bit off-camera fun. The Action boys were about to run through this yacht, and then they realized that we were live. They didn't see it coming.
Didn't want to be on camera again just yet. Big congratulations to HyuN again. I said I'm a big fan. I'm really, really excited to see how far of a run HyuN's going to make it in this tournament, especially with how many Hellbat players might be left.
Yes, we're definitely going to see a lot of Hellbats, and let's just take a look at what is next for WCS America. We're going to keep it real short. It's been a long day of StarCraft, but stay tuned. We have some very valuable information for you guys. So let's just take a look at our upcoming broadcast. Because I know, Nate, we have a couple of big-name players that we haven't seen yet. Think about that guy that's sitting in my apartment right now.
Yeah, that's right. Group C. Man, this group, what an incredible group that we're going to have coming up next week. Bomber, Czech, TuneMing, Pult, two of the best Terran players you can almost say in the world, and two Zerg players that have really been starting to shine. Czech, we know he's good. TuneMing, people are starting to invest in his coins, so anything can happen in this group.
Almost, Nate, almost. Both Bomber and Pult have won so many tournaments. Pult has won 2 WCS America Championships, and Bomber has won a Global Finals last year. It doesn't really get much better than that. Of course, Bomber last year top 4 at BlizzCon as well. We're almost done, but I just can't see. I just can't have enough of Todd. So I want to see and I want to hear from Todd one more time.
Thanks, guys. I can get enough of you, Roddy. That's why I'll be back here next week to cast with you guys. But first here, I want to talk a little bit about the ZVZ we just saw. I'm starting to be quite the expert on the matchup by now. We've seen so many, and I'm always casting it, doing the analysis now on it too. It really feels like Revival. He does not want to mix it up at all. He always goes gasless, and in that first game here against HyuN, the initial attack with the Zerglings and all that did just way too much damage. HyuN was basically telling Revival, you better start playing a lot better than this, otherwise I'm just going to completely roll you over. And he won that game very convincingly. Then comes the second game. Again, Revival goes gasless. He tries to go for a big bluff. Tried to pull a little bit of roti at the casino, so to speak. He took the third base. He didn't have any units. He was basically hoping for a big mistake from his opponent, who wouldn't attack at the time. We have the replay loaded up. We can take a look at the 10th minute mark where we are at in terms of income and army supply. If we pause right here, they have the same worker count, but HyuN, look at how much army how much more army supply he has. Because he had such an earlier third base, he transformed that into a huge supply leads. And 79 army supply to 50 usually is not going to go well if you're on the wrong end of this. So HyuN is just going to move in for the kill. He knows that this is a timing where he's almost always going to have enough. And at first he didn't look that convincing. He just had a few roaches more there. He's wasting a little bit of time behind with those roaches killing the creep tumors, but then come in the Zerglings, and in the end he's just going to have enough, barely enough, to crush through this army of revival, who I feel was being a little bit stubborn with his gasless style opener. From there he knows how to play, he knows how to take bases, but HyuN just overall, he knew how to go into that match. 80 army supply to 40. Just able to seal the deal here very convincingly. Not even going up to the 12th minute in this game. He just completely crushed him in the second game. So that's going to be it with the analysis. I know you guys enjoy my ZVZ analysis. I'm sure I'll be back for more later. Oh, wow. I didn't expect a cheer for this. Thank you, guys. I love you guys. That's going to be it for me, with me today, with the analysis. Big shout out again to our observer Flo. She did a fantastic job. Back to the desk, guys.
Might as well rename this to WCS Flow. It's all about flow over here. Like Le Tot showing so much love. Didn't know he had it in him.
Todd is he's shown a lot of heart today. All the Zergs. I feel like I've learned a lot about Zerg, and well, I'm excited to let you guys know how many roaches have been made after today's broadcast, of course.
Yes, you guys will find that information on twitter.com/NathaniasTV. And he did make it, by the way, guys. Big shout out to all of you who just followed Nate on Twitter. He is so happy. He pretends like it doesn't mean much. But look at this, man. It's like Christmas and Easter on the same day. He is so incredibly pumped. Either way, guys, we're going to keep it short. We're almost done. It's been a long week of StarCraft for us. 8 days, actually, non-stop casting, 1 day off. Before that, we had 5 days. You know, I'm going to dream about roaches. And actually, I'm lying. I'm going to dream about much better things, Nate. But we're going to take a look at Korea and EU as well, because WCS is happening all around the world. WCS Europe is a crazy amount of fun to watch. Big shout out, of course, to Apollo and Calaris for holding down the fort. I know it's hard without Le Tot over there, guys, but I know you're going to do a fine job. Actually, Le Tot is probably going to be part of WCS Europe. Man, he is just like the face of WCS America and Europe as well. This is crazy.
We need to start bidding on him. And of course, the GSL Code S Final. That's basically the premier WCS tournament in Korea. We played out on Friday, June 27th. And I believe that's going to be, is it Classic versus Sioux? That's a sick match.
That is. Classic, of course. Once upon a time a Terran, now a Protoss. So if you guys want to know how to make the GSL final, well, pick Protoss. Haha, just kidding. Classic is fantastic. I love watching him. And last but not least, we have one very important message, and I promise this is the last one. Battlegrounds Atlanta is coming up. I'm incredibly stoked to go back to the south, where Mr. Bitter is originally from and his family is there. But above all, we're going to host an awesome StarCraft event there. $25,000 StarCraft 2 tournament with 4,000 WCS points up for grabs. So I would say any one of these guys that didn't make it or hasn't really collected enough WCS points yet, all of you should go to Atlanta, because it's going to be so much fun, isn't it?
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. I can't wait to go to Atlanta. I think it's going to be super fun. Once more, Battlegrounds Atlanta, July 11th to July 13th. And for the final words, for the final moments of today's show, I'm going to throw it over to Clutch. But of course, this is it from us. Thanks everyone for watching, and have a lovely night.
Thank you, gentlemen. We want to wish Nesty and Revival a fun farewell. We'll see you next season. Best of luck, and a huge congratulations once again to HyuN and Alicia as they move on to the round of 8. We will see them July 5th at 3 o'clock. Stay tuned for more WCS action in Europe and Korea, but make sure to stay tuned to the American Group C happening July 1st right here in Burbank, California at 3 p.m. Pacific time. On behalf of everyone here from ESL America, good night and good game.